What's up everyone, it's your boy, B Media Name, here with a crazy video, and this one is intense. We're talking about the craziest, most insane road accidents from around the world, the kind of stuff that makes you hold your breath. Join us as we look at some of the strangest and most dangerous road accidents that have happened in different countries. From weird crashes to accidents that changed history, we'll look at fascinating details and unforgettable experiences. Ready? Let's go! This first story is a sad one. We're talking about Princess Diana's tragic death in Paris in 1997. Imagine this. It's late at night, photographers are chasing her car, and Diana's driver is speeding through a tunnel. The car crashes into a pillar, totally wrecking the car. People were panicking, trying to help, but it was a bad accident. Princess Diana died. This wasn't just a car accident, it was a world event. The investigation, the conspiracy theories, it was like a spy movie. What really happened? People still talk about it today. It made everyone realize that even famous people can be hurt. Okay, you know about the Autobahn in Germany, right? It's one of the most famous highways in the world, known for its stretches without speed limits. It's like the fastest highway ever, where you can drive as fast as you want. Imagine cruising at top speed, feeling the thrill of the open road. But even on the Autobahn, accidents happen, and when they do, they can be catastrophic due to the high speeds involved. And when they do, they're bad. We're talking about twisted metal, shattered glass, and chaos. We're talking about this huge pileup that happened a few years ago with over 100 cars. It was one of the worst accidents in Autobahn history. It started with a sudden hailstorm which made the road icy really fast. The weather turned in an instant, catching everyone off guard. Drivers lost control, cars started spinning, and it was a mess of crashing cars. The scene was like something out of a disaster movie. This pileup was over a mile long. Imagine the sheer scale of it, with cars stacked up one after another. It took rescuers hours to get everyone out, and you could hear sirens and helicopters everywhere. The emergency response was massive. They had to close the entire Autobahn for days, and the damage cost a lot of money. The cleanup and repairs were extensive. It reminds us that even on the open road, we're not always in control. No matter how advanced our cars or how skilled we are as drivers, nature can still surprise us. This next one is like a horror movie, and it happened on I-75 in Florida. Imagine thick fog, so thick you can barely see. Now, imagine driving through that on a busy highway where everyone's going like 70 miles an hour. It was like a scary movie. This thick fog just covering everything. Drivers couldn't see, visibility was almost zero. It started with a small accident, nothing big. But in the fog, with drivers already nervous, it caused a chain reaction. Cars crashed into each other, one after another. The sounds were loud, screeching tires, crunching metal, horns. Rescuers had a hard time getting there because of the fog. It took hours to clean up and even longer to identify everyone. They called it the fog of disaster, and it's easy to see why. Chapter 4. Silence in the Swiss Alps. This story makes you think. We're talking about the Sierre Tunnel bus crash in Switzerland, a tragedy that shocked everyone. Imagine, a bus full of school kids excited for a ski trip traveling through the mountains. It's a beautiful day, and then suddenly, everything changes. The bus crashed into the wall of a tunnel. The crash was terrible. The bus was wrecked. It was chaotic. Rescuers rushing to the tunnel, sirens echoing. But there was a strange silence. Many of the children died. The Sierre Tunnel crash reminds us that even in beautiful places, bad things can happen. Chapter 5. Ice Road Terror. For this one, we're going to Canada, to the land of ice roads and cold winters. The vast frozen wilderness of Canada is both beautiful and treacherous, especially in the dead of winter. These ice roads are vital lifelines, connecting remote communities and delivering essential supplies. Have you seen ice road truckers? Those drivers are brave, driving big trucks across frozen lakes and rivers. They face extreme conditions, from blizzards to thin ice, all while hauling heavy loads. It's a job that requires nerves of steel and a deep understanding of the ice. It's dangerous. And this story shows how quickly things can go wrong. One moment everything seems fine, and the next, you're in a life or death situation. The ice can be unpredictable, and even the most experienced drivers can find themselves in trouble. Imagine a lonely highway, covered in ice, so slippery it looks like a mirror. The surface is so smooth and reflective that it almost seems unreal. The cold bites at your skin and the wind howls around you, adding to the sense of isolation. It's freezing, and you're driving a truck full of supplies. The weight of the cargo adds to the challenge, making it even harder to control the vehicle. Every decision you make is critical, and there's no room for error. This driver was experienced. He knew the ice roads well. He had driven these routes many times before and understood the risks involved. He was confident in his abilities, but on the ice, confidence can sometimes be a dangerous thing. But even he wasn't ready for what happened. The ice can change in an instant, and no amount of experience can prepare you for the unexpected. It's a stark reminder of the power of nature and the fragility of human control. The truck hit a patch of black ice and lost control. Black ice is particularly dangerous because it's nearly invisible, blending in with the road. Before he knew it, the truck was sliding uncontrollably. It started to skid, then faster and faster until it was spinning. The driver fought to regain control, but the ice had other plans. The truck was at the mercy of the frozen road and there was little he could do. The driver tried to control it, but he couldn't. The steering wheel felt useless in his hands, and the brakes were no match for the slick surface. It was a terrifying moment, one that seemed to stretch on forever. The ice road terror, they called it, a reminder that even skilled drivers can't always control nature. It's a sobering thought, but one that every ice road trucker must keep in mind. The road demands respect, and those who forget that do so at their peril. Chapter 6. The Devil's Highway. Get ready, because we're going to Bolivia, to a road so dangerous they call it Death Road. This infamous stretch of highway is officially known as the North Yungas Road, but its deadly reputation has earned it a far more sinister nickname. We're talking about the Yungas Road, a scary road with winding turns, steep cliffs, and barely enough room for one car. The road snakes through the Cordillera Oriental mountain chain, offering breathtaking views that can quickly turn into a nightmare. This story is about a runaway truck, a big drop, and a lot of luck. The narrow path, often shrouded in fog and rain, makes every journey a perilous adventure. Imagine, you're driving a truck down the Yungas Road. The sheer drops on one side and the towering cliffs on the other make it a white-knuckle experience. The road is narrow, the drops are steep, and you're nervous. Every turn could be your last, and the margin for error is virtually non-existent. Now imagine your brakes stop working. Panic sets in as you realize that you have no control over the vehicle. That's what happened to this driver. The truck began to pick up speed, hurtling down the treacherous path. The truck went faster and faster down the mountain. The driver's heart raced as he desperately tried to regain control. The driver knew he was in trouble. His grip tightened on the steering wheel, knuckles white with fear. He tried to slow the truck down, but he couldn't. The brakes were completely unresponsive. The truck crashed and the driver was thrown out. The impact was devastating, but miraculously, he survived. Death Road had another victim, but this time, the driver lived. Against all odds, he walked away from the wreckage, a rare survivor of one of the world's most dangerous roads. This next story is in India, where the roads can be chaotic. We're talking about a train hitting a car, but it happened at a railroad crossing with no one there to control it, a dangerous place. India's train system is huge, with trains everywhere, and sometimes, safety isn't as important as getting things done quickly. It was a busy day. Traffic was stopped at the railroad crossing. People were impatient, honking their horns. No one saw the train coming. The crossing signals weren't working and there were no gates to stop cars. The train hit the car hard, throwing it into the air. It was a close call. A reminder that in some places, danger is everywhere. Chapter 8. Inferno on the M1. For this one, we're going to the UK, to the M1 motorway, a very busy road. This story is about speed, fire, and chaos. Imagine, you're driving late at night, the road is clear. Suddenly you see headlights coming at you very fast. They're in your lane and they're not slowing down. Two cars crashed head-on. The crash was so bad that it destroyed both cars. The crash started a fire and both cars were burning. The inferno on the M1, a reminder that even on roads, danger can happen fast. Chapter 9. The Bridge to Nowhere. This next one is sad, a tragedy that shocked everyone and showed how fragile bridges and roads can be. We're talking about the Morandi Bridge collapse in Genoa, Italy, a disaster that made people question safety. Imagine, you're driving, and suddenly the bridge starts to shake. You see the road collapsing. It was a normal day when part of the bridge just fell. Cars and trucks fell hundreds of feet. The sound was loud, the sight was terrible. The Morandi Bridge collapse showed that even in rich countries, bridges can fall, and it can be a disaster. The bridge to nowhere, a symbol of how things we build can be destroyed. Chapter 10, the Lagos Inferno. This last story is a hard one, a reminder of the dangers in places where safety rules aren't followed. We're talking about a tanker explosion in Lagos, Nigeria, which killed many people. Imagine, Lagos, a busy city, lots of traffic, people everywhere. Now imagine a tanker truck full of fuel crashing. The tanker, which was too full and not taken care of, tipped over, spilling fuel. People gathered around, some trying to help, others trying to get some of the fuel. Something caused a spark, and the fuel caught fire. The explosion was huge, a big fireball, burning everything. The Lagos Inferno, a tragedy that showed the dangers of not following safety rules. Outroad drive safe, my friends. Wow, that was intense. I don't know about you, but I'm going to be more careful driving. These stories remind us that things can happen on the road and that safety is important. It's easy to think it won't happen to us, but accidents can happen to anyone. So pay attention, be alert, and be safe. Stay safe while driving. Thanks for watching.